Hello everyone. In today's class, we are going to discuss most important problems of Unit 3, that is algebraic structures. So these two problems comes under group theory, right? So now we discuss the most important topics of group theory, right? Shall now we move to the problems. Go to our topic. So this is the one first problem. Show that show that show that the set q plus q is nothing but right rational numbers. Q plus of all positive rational numbers forms an abelian group under the composition defined by star under the composition defined by star such that a star b equals to AB by 3. So this is the binary operation defined on the set of positive rational numbers. We need to prove this set of positive rational numbers is a group under this binary operation or under this composition. So sometimes composition is also binary operation is also called composition. Composition is nothing but binary operation. Okay, already we know that what is binary operation, right? Binary operation means the composition of two elements which produces the other element which belongs to the same set, then it is said to be the binary operation or a composition. Binary operations are nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All these are called binary operations, isn't it? Okay. So here the binary operation is a star b is equals to ab by 3, and just we recollect what are the topics we have discussed. So first of all, a set satisfies a closure property under the given binary operation. It is said to be algebraic structure. I'm repeating, a set satisfies closure property under the given binary operation is said to be algebraic structure. Clear? And a set satisfies closure and associative semi-group. Okay? Closure and associative semi-group. Closure, associative, identity. Closure, associative, identity is said to be monoid. Is said to be monoid. Closure, associative, identity, and inverse. Then that particular set under the given operation is said to be a group. A group. Now what we need to prove here, this set is a abelian group. Abelian means what we need to prove? Closure, associative, identity, inverse, and commutative. Inverse and commutative. So if we prove these five properties, what are the five properties? Once again I am repeating: closure, associative, identity, inverse, commutative. So if we prove these five properties, okay, if we able to prove these five properties are true under the given operation or composition binary operation on the q plus, then this q plus is said to be a abelian group, right? So step number one. So what is given? First we need to write the given a comma b belongs to q plus. Q plus is nothing but positive rational numbers. And what is the operation given? The operation given is a star b is equals to ab by 3. Coming to the closure property. What is meant by closure property? Already we have discussed it in the class, right? If a comma b, any two elements belongs to the given set. That means here what is the given set? Q plus, right? So A comma B belongs to Q plus, and A star B is equals to AB by 3. AB by 3. This should be belongs to Q plus. Just verify for obviously AB by 3 belongs to Q plus. Just verify with an example. Say I will take A is equals to 3, B is equals to 2. That means 3 into 2, 6. 6 by 3 is nothing but 6 by 3 is nothing but 2. Okay. For any two positive rational numbers, the product AB by 3 is always belongs to the another, it gives always another positive rational number. Therefore AB by 3 obviously belongs to Q plus. Therefore closure property satisfied. Now coming to the associative property, right? What is associative property? To prove associative property we need to take at least 3 elements. That means 3 elements. We need to take 3 elements, not at least, we need to take 3 elements. So here I am considering A, B, C belongs to Q plus. Now what I need to prove? Bracket. Here we need to carefully observe the bracket. A star B bracket B star C. Okay. That means first we need to expand this bracket. So A star I am keeping the same. B star C, what is the operation? A star B is equals to AB by 3. That means here B star C is nothing but BC by 3. Now A star B star C. So if we remove this star, what we get? A, this is the first element, this is the second element. Clear? So this is the first element and this is the second element. So first element into second element whole by 3. What is the first element? A. What is the second element? BC by 3. Therefore A into BC by 3 whole by 3. 1 3 is there now here. Therefore whole by 3. That means it gives ABC by 3. ABC by 3 into 3, that is equals to 9. Okay, this is what the LHS we obtained. Now RHS. What is the RHS? We need to take this type of bracket. A star B star C. So first we need to find A star B. So what is A star B here? A star B is nothing but AB by 3, as we know from the given operation. Clear? And star C. So here the first element is AB by 3 and the second element is C. So AB by 3 into C whole by 3. That means ABC by 9. So LHS and RHS both are equal. LHS is equals to RHS because LHS is nothing but ABC by 9. RHS is also ABC by 9. Therefore A star B star C is equals to A star B star C. That means associative property satisfied. Clear? Now moving to the right now we are going to discuss the next property we need to prove, that is identity property. So all we know that identity property, if an element belongs to the set, here the set is Q plus. Now there exists an element E belongs to Q. So E is identity element is always denoted by E, such that A star E is equals to E star A is equals to A. Okay. So under the operation star A star E equals to E star A equals to A, then E is said to be the identity element. Now using this property we find the identity element. That identity element must be belongs to Q plus, then identity property satisfied. Okay. So here A star E, and what is the operation? We know A star E is nothing but AB by 3. Clearly it is the given binary operation in the problem. So here A in the place of B, E is there. So AE by 3 equals to A. AE by 3 is equals to A. So this is the relation. Now from both sides we get cancel A and A, because these are two are in multiplication mode. E is equals to 3. Now clearly this E belongs to the positive rational numbers. That means identity law satisfied, and E is equals to 3. The identity element E is equals to 3. Okay. The next property is inverse property. Inverse property. So all we know that what is the inverse property? A into B is equals to, or A star B is equals to B star A is equals to E, then this B is said to be inverse of A. B is said to be inverse of A, and this B must be belongs to the given set. Then only inverse law satisfied. Otherwise, inverse law does not satisfy. Clear? So we are now moving to the calculation part. A star B is nothing but AB by 3, that is equals to 3. Now AB by 3 is equals to 3 gives us AB is equals to 9. Now we are going to find B value by using the cross multiplication. We get B is equals to 9 by A. So if we take any value, any positive rational number in the place of A, we get again a positive rational number. That means 9 by A is clearly belongs to the positive rational numbers. That means Q plus. Therefore inverse law is satisfied. Inverse law satisfied, and our inverse element is B is equals to 9 by A. Clear? Now, so if these four laws are satisfied, then our set is said to be the group under the given binary operation. But what we need to prove? We need to prove our set is an abelian group. So to prove the set is abelian group, we need to prove one more property. That property is commutative property. I think all you know what is commutative property. Commutative property rule is A star B is equals to B star A. Okay, if we prove A star B is equals to B star A, then commutative property is satisfied. Now we are going to find A star B. So according to our given operation, A star B equals to AB by 3, where A is a positive rational number, B is a positive rational number. So for positive rational numbers, AB by 3 is again a positive rational number, and B star A is equals to BA by 3. So for rational numbers, AB is equals to BA, clearly we know that. Therefore A star B is equals to B star A, that is equals to AB by 3. Is it clear, all of you? A star B is equals to B star A is equals to AB by 3. Sir, here AB by 3 is there, here BA by 3, sir. So how do these two equal? So it is defined under positive rational numbers. Say for example, if you take 2 and 4, 2 4 ja 8, 8 by 3, 4 2 ja also 8, 8 by 3. So both are same, right? So commutative law is satisfied. Therefore the 5 properties, what are the 5 properties? Closure, associative, identity, inverse, and commutative property satisfied. Therefore the given set is a abelian group, an abelian group under the given binary operation. Okay, is it clear, all of you? First problem, right? Now we are going to discuss the second problem. Right, coming to the second problem. Right, now we discuss the second problem. So here what is the second problem? Show that the set G equals to 1 minus 1 I minus I, where I square equal to minus 1 is an abelian group under multiplication. Or the same problem can also be asked like, prove that the fourth roots of unity, right? What is their statement here? Fourth roots of unity. So what is meant by fourth roots of unity? So these four numbers are called fourth roots of unity. So it may not be given in your question. You need to understand these are the fourth roots of unity on complex numbers. X to the power of 4 is equals to 1. Okay, so form an abelian multiplicative group. So this was the this is the question asked to us, right? Now we need to prove this is a abelian group. Clear? Now this we need to prove this is a abelian group. Now how to prove? So what is the difference between the previous problem and this problem? In previous problem, the generalized set is given. That means Q star set of positive rational numbers. But in this set, if you observe this set, G is equals to 1 minus 1 I minus I. That means only 4 elements are there. That means it is a finite set. finite set, countable. The elements of this set are countable, that are only 4. Therefore this type of sets are called countable sets. Okay, so whenever the elements are less than or equal to 6, we can form a composite table. We can form a composite table. This is called composite table. Using the composite table, we can find the group, the set forms a group or not under the given binary operation. So how do we construct the composite table? First we need to write all the elements which are given in the set as rows, row wise and column wise, right? So 1 minus 1 I minus I, okay, first column, second column, third column, fourth column, and 1 minus 1 I minus I, same elements in the row wise. Now first these are empty cells. Now we need to fill these empty cells by using the corresponding binary operation. What is the binary operation given here? Into. So I multiply one by one elements from row to column. 1 into 1, that is equals to 1. 1 into minus 1, that is equals to minus 1. 1 into I, that is equals to I. 1 into minus I, that is equals to minus I. So this row fulfilled. Now coming to the second row, same process applied. Minus 1 into 1, that is equal to minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1, that is equal to 1. Minus 1 into I, that is equal to minus I. Minus 1 into minus I, that is equals to I. And coming to the next row, okay, same process applied for the remaining rows also. Same process. I into 1, that is equal to I into minus 1, that is equal to minus I into I square. I square is nothing but minus 1. Already we know that in complex numbers I square is equals to minus 1. So we can write I into I square, that is equals to minus 1. Don't write I square. I into I square, that is defined as minus 1. Clear? And I into minus I square, minus into minus plus 1. Coming to the last row, minus I into 1, that is equal to minus I into I, minus I into I minus I square, that is equal to 1. Minus I into minus I plus I square, that is equals to minus 1. Like this we fill all the empty cells by using the corresponding operation. Right? Now how do we prove all the properties using this composition table? So I will explain you. Please listen carefully. Whenever you observe all the elements in the composition table are exist in the G, okay, all the elements which are in the composition table are the elements of G only. No element is not belongs to other than G. Then only it is the satisfies closure property. That means it is clearly a algebraic structure. So you need to observe, is there any element which does not belongs to the G, right? If you observe any element which does not belongs to G, then it does not satisfy closure property. That means closure property failed. You don't need to move further. It is not a group. Okay. So first point is all the elements belongs to the group G or not. So if you observe all the elements, every row and every column, all the elements are belongs to G. Therefore, it is clearly satisfying closure property. So this is the way we need to identify the closure property, prove the closure property. We will write in our own terms in the next slide. We will see it in the next slide. Now how to prove associative property? You take any three elements of this set, okay, 1 into minus 1 into I. Okay, if you take any three elements, you will get the same result. A into B of C is equals to AB into C, because these are complex numbers. So clearly integers, natural numbers, from the natural numbers, integers, rational numbers, real numbers, complex numbers, all these sets satisfies associative property. That means there is no need of checking associative property. By default, associative property under multiplication, not addition or subtraction. Under multiplication, associative property for all these sets clearly satisfies. Therefore, these are the this is the subset of complex number. Clearly, this is a subset of very simple set, small set of the complex numbers. Therefore, it is also satisfied satisfies associative property. Okay, so two properties are satisfied. Closure, that means all the elements belongs to G. Associative, this is the subset of complex number, therefore complex number satisfies associative property, therefore G satisfies associative property. Clear, all of you? Now how to identify identity element? Very very important. Using the composition table we can identify identity element. Now 1 into 1, where we get 1, the element 1, because A into B is equals A into E, A into E, A star E or A into E. Here operation is into. So A into E, what is our identity property? A into E is equal to E into A is equals to what? A. We need to get A. And also we know that under multiplication 1 is the identity. So if you observe 1 into 1, that is equals to 1. Okay, 1 is the identity element. Okay, 1 into minus 1, that is equal to minus 1. 1 is the identity element. That means 1 belongs to this set. So whenever 1 belongs to the set, then identity property is obviously satisfied. Okay, the identity element is 1. Clear? So for identity element exist and identity property satisfied. Now coming to the inverse, very very important, how to identify inverse element from the composition table. So if you want to identify inverse element from the composition table, the simple technique is there. First you have to observe, for which element you need to find the inverse element. Now if I want to find inverse for 1, okay, I want to find inverse for 1. Now this is the 1 I get here. Now where is 1 in the row you need to see. Okay, opposite to, so for this 1, opposite side, where is the 1 you need to identify, and the exactly on the top of the row where you get that element exactly opposite to this 1, that is the inverse of this particular element. That is the inverse of this particular element. So that is the process of identifying inverse using the composition table. You can also find individually inverse elements, but no need of like that. Directly you can identify this method, right? Now I want to find inverse of minus 1. I want to find inverse of minus 1. First you need to observe where is 1 in this column you need to identify. Okay, so here it is 1. Now the exactly opposite top element is the inverse of this minus 1. Okay, this minus 1. So here this is the inverse for minus 1. So like that I want to find inverse of I. So where I am getting 1, here I am getting 1. Okay, sorry, right, so here I am getting 1. So the top element is minus I here, therefore minus I is the inverse of I. Minus I is the inverse of I. Like that minus I is there. So where I am getting 1, here I am getting 1. Okay, so the topmost element exactly opposite to this 1. This 1 is the inverse of minus I. Clear? So 1 is the inverse of 1 is the inverse of 1, minus 1 is the inverse of minus 1, I is the inverse of minus I, and minus I is the inverse of I, vice versa. So this is about finding the inverse element from the composition table. Clear all of you? I think all of you clear this process, this method of finding inverse. You can write in your own words, right? In the words form you can write, right? Now what is the last property? Yes, commutative property. So all the sets, that means starting from natural numbers, integers, rational numbers, real numbers, complex numbers, all these sets satisfies commutative property under multiplication. So clearly it is the subset of complex number. The given set is subset of complex number under multiplication. Therefore clearly this set satisfies commutative property. Therefore this set is clearly an abelian group by observing the composition table. So that's what I am going to explain in the next slide. Now in the written format, right? So by observing the table only you can identify either it is a group or semi group or algebraic structure or abelian group, right? This is the method. When this is applied, only finite number of elements are given, and according to our syllabus less than or equal to 6, the elements which are less than or equal to 6 are given, then we can apply this table process, composition table process, right? Now we are going to the next slide to explain this in the word format, right? Right, closure property is all the elements of table are belongs to G, then G is closed with respect to the given operation, that is here multiplication, right? So closure property satisfied. Now what is associative property? Associative property is nothing but B C belongs to Z, AB into C is equals to AB into C, multiplication AB into C is equals to ABC. So all we know that multiplication of complex numbers, real numbers, complex numbers, integers, what not, for all the type of number systems, associative property is obviously satisfied. AB into C is equals to AB into A into BC. Say for example, I am taking three elements which are in the given set. So 1 into minus 1 of I. 1 into minus 1 is equal to minus 1 into I is nothing but minus I. If I remove bracket like this, 1 of minus 1 into I, that is also giving minus 1. Therefore AB into C is equals to A into BC. Therefore associative property is satisfied. Now coming to the next property. What is the next property? Identity property, right? Coming to the identity property, all we know that identity property is A into E is equals to E into A is equals to A, right? So here in the complex numbers, all we know that 1 belongs to the complex number, 1 is the multiplicative identity. So clearly A into 1 is equals to 1 into A is equals to A. 1 into A is equals to A. Okay, therefore identity element in the given group is 1. 1 is there in the group, therefore 1 belongs to G. 1 belongs to G. You can write 1 belongs to G. 1 belongs to G. 1 belongs to G. That means given group. Therefore identity property is satisfied. Now what about the inverse law? Inverse law means A into B is equals to B into A is equals to 1. Clearly identity element. Therefore here if we take 1 into 1 is equals to 1 into 1 is equals to 1. 1 is the inverse of 1. 1 is the inverse of 1. Okay, if you find from the table, just you need to observe where is the 1 exist exactly opposite to the particular element. Okay, we will discuss later. So commutative property, multiplication of commutative property is always satisfied. Commutative property on complex numbers always satisfies. Okay, so this is always commutative. Okay, all complex numbers must satisfy commutative property. Therefore this group is satisfying all the properties, all the 5 properties. Therefore it is an abelian group. Okay, so fourth roots of unity is clearly an abelian group, right? So these two problems are very important problems, and you will, if you understand these two problems clearly, you can do many problems of this kind, right? Okay, so right, thank you all of you. We will discuss one more topic in the next video. Thank you. Signing off, Sridhar.